Hello everyone, today we are up with another video. This time we are doing a chapter called Measures of Central Tendency. This is mainly meant for the students of class 10 from ICSE background. There are a number of things that we discuss under this topic, but to start with, the first module will be about mean, median and mode. These are the three measures of central tendency that we have to calculate. Usually in ICSE, there are two types of data that you are asked to calculate from. One is ungrouped and other is grouped. So we'll come to the group data later on. First, let us look at ungrouped data. Ungrouped data is when simple numbers are given without the frequency presented in the table. So if in case I have a question like this, calculate mean, median and mode from these two data. Then for mean, it is very simple. It's like average that you must have done in lower classes. Mean is sum of observation divided by number of observations. So for the first question, it is 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 7. I have just taken the numbers divided by number of observation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here it is taken. Sum of all this number is 35 divided by 7 is 5. So this is how we get the answer. The second one, number B, for mean, you can calculate it on your own. I have left it as classwork for you. Now if I have to calculate median, that is the second measure of central tendency, then the first thing we do is data array, that is arranging the given numbers in ascending order. So first what I have done is I have taken all these numbers but in ascending order. Just see from small to big, 2, 3, 4, 4, 6, 7, 9. So this has been arranged in ascending order. Median means middlemost observation. So from here if you see, if I leave 2 items here, 2 items here, 1 more item here, 1 more item here, what is left right at the middle is my median. Now I have taken a second question to show you what happens if in case I am left with 2 numbers at the center. That particularly happens when there are even number of observations given in the question. Then in that case, the middlemost observation, I have 2 numbers, 3 and 4. So what do? I'll add those 2 numbers and divide it by 2. So my median for this question would be 3.5. I hope you have understood. Now mode for any such question would be observation having highest frequency. So if you see here, the first one, 4 is repeating 2 times, that is the maximum of all. And here, 3 is repeating 2 times, that is again maximum of all. So here for mode for number 1, A is 4 and for the second one is 3. Okay, so let's move on to the group data. Under the group data, first let's take mean. For calculation of mean, ICSE prescribes 3 methods: direct method, indirect method and step deviation method. You need to understand that in exams, this method may be specified in the question. So that is why it is important for students to know all the 3 methods of calculation of mean. So let us look at a simple data over here. This is a group data. I have taken marks 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40 and 40 to 50. And number of students scoring these marks are in this group. So this is a group data. If I want to calculate mean by the first method, that is method A or the direct method, I have just copied the class and the number of students as frequency. Now what we do next is find the mid value of the class interval that is given. Now how do we calculate the mid value? Just concentrate here. 0 plus 10, 10 divided by 2, 5. That means we will add the lower and the upper class interval. 10 plus 20, 30 divided by 2 is 15. So that is how I have calculated all the mid values over here. Now we will find the product of frequency and the mid value. So just see here, 3 5s are 15, 7 15s are 35 and 10. 4 25s are 100. 30 carry 3, 19 21. 5 25 carry 2, 5 20, 5 25 carry 2, 5 20 21 22. When you take the sum of this, you get 655. So now this is the symbol for mean. Do remember that this mean is represented by the symbol bar x. So formula of mean by first method is sigma fx by n, that is equal to sigma fx, here it is 655 by n, that is n is the sum of frequency. So sum of frequency, let us take it 3 plus 7, 10 plus 4, 14 plus 6, 20 plus 5 is 25. So here I am taking 25. Now you know how to cancel this. So as you cancel and simplify, you are going to get 26.2 as your answer. Okay. Let us look at method 2. So method 2, known as indirect method, assume mean method, or shortcut method. So they may be called by different names, but it is the same thing. So here I have copied the class interval that is given over here, and then I have taken the frequency. The next step is we take the mid value here. So mid value is x. We know the same method here. 0 plus 10, 10 divided by 2, 5. 10 plus 20, 30 divided by 2 is 15. Similarly, 25, 35 and 45 will be the mid values. Now we take assumed mean from here, which means the middlemost one. So leave 2 from here, leave 2 from here. What I am getting as middlemost is 25. If in case there are two numbers at the middle, if in case there are 6 observations, you will have 2 numbers. Out of those 2, you can take any one. Both will give you the same correct answer. Be clear about it. Okay. Now A is assumed mean. I have taken the middlemost one. If in case you are having 2 numbers over here, you will take any one. Now we are calculating D. D means deviation. Formula of deviation is x minus A, which means x is 5 minus A is 25. So 5 minus 25 minus 20. 15 minus 25 minus 10. 25 minus 25 0. This minus this. 35 minus 25 10. 45 minus 25 is 20. Now you will find the product of F and D. 3 20s are minus 60, minus 70, 0, 60 and 100. Now we take the sum of sigma. Sigma means summation. In statistics, sigma, the symbol sigma means summation. Do remember that. So sigma FD. Here, summation of minus 60 and minus 70 is minus 130. You can note it. And 60 and 100 is 160. Plus 160 minus 130 is plus 30. Now formula for me would be A plus sigma FD by N. Now A over here is 25 and sigma FD is 30 by N, that is the sum of frequency, is 25 here. So as I solve, 5 6 are 30, 5 5 are 25, solve it further, 26.2 would be your answer, the same answer that you have got over here. Now let us look at the third method. It's called the step deviation method. So in this method, again I have taken the class interval and the frequency as it is given in the question. Now I am going to find the mid value. Same way, I'll get here 5, 15, 25, 35 and 45. I am not elaborating that, it was explained earlier. Now I have to take assumed mean again. Assumed mean is again the middlemost one, 25. If in case I am having 6 observations over here, then I'll have 2 numbers. Out of those 2 numbers, take any one, you will get the same correct answer. Now we have to take the range. This is small letter I, it means range. Range is the gap between these two. Just see here, 10 minus 0, 10. Or you can say 20 minus 10, 10. Or 30 minus 20, 10. In any case, the gap between the first, second or any class interval is our range. We are going to calculate the deviation, which is represented by step deviation, which is represented by U. So U formula is x minus A by I, which means 5 minus 25 minus 20 divided by 10 is minus 2. 15 minus 25 is minus 10 divided by 10 is minus 1. Similarly, 0, 1 and 2 you are going to get. Now let's find the product of F and U. So this is minus 6, minus 7, 0, 6 1s are 6, 5 2s are 10. The summation of this, I'll get sigma Fu, that is 16 and this is 30, so this is 3. And here summation of frequency, we know by now it is 25. Formula for mean now is A plus sigma Fu by N into I. So in that case, A for me is 25, sigma Fu is 3 by 25 into I is 10. If I solve it, I'll get again 25 plus 6 by 5, which is 26.2. So by any method, we get the same answer. So now let us look at group data for median. Median is also represented by a symbol called Q2. That's the second quartile. There is upper quartile, which is Q3, and lower quartile Q1, which may also be asked in exams. Usually in a data, if I want to know the observation which is exactly at 50%, then they are talking about median. And if in case I want to know the observation which is at 25% of the given data, then that is lower quartile, and for 75% it is the upper quartile. However, how do we calculate it? Let us look into it with the help of an example over here. So I have a question over here: calculate Q1, Q2 and Q3, variate, that is X is given, and frequency is given. Now here class interval will not be given because that type of question is not in our syllabus. For median, always a variate will be given, or else we may be asked to calculate median with the help of a graph in Ujjayi, which we will be doing in some other video. So presently, when variate and frequency is given, so let me use the same table for my solution. First I will calculate cumulative frequency. Now in cumulative frequency, I will cumulate, that is add up the frequency that is given over here. First I will take a 3, then the next one is 3 plus 7 is 10, 10 plus 4 is 14, 14 plus 6 is 20, and 20 plus 5 is 25. Now we have to look into this last number and add up our frequency over here. So if you add up 3 plus 7, 10, 10 plus 4, 14, 6, 20 plus 5 is 25. If this number is matching with the last number of a cumulative frequency, you have calculated it correctly. So you should always add up this frequency separately so as to cross check whether your calculation of cumulative frequency is correct or not. Now if I want to calculate Q1, that is the lower quartile, then the formula is n plus 1 by 4th observation. So n is this 25 or this 25, whatever you say. 25 plus 1, 26, divided by 4, it is 6.5th observation. So from 1st to 3rd it is here. From 4th to 10th it is here, which means from 4th to 10th means 6.5 is also inside this, which means my median, the lower quartile will be this 15. Now Q2, that is 25 plus 1, 26, divided by 2 is 13th observation. Now please listen to it carefully. 1st to 3rd, all the observations are in this cumulative frequency. 4th to 10th in this. 11 to 14. So in 11 to 14th my 13th is there. So my Q2 would be 25. Here again, Q3. Q3 is 25 plus 1, 26. 26 divided by 4 is 6.5. 6.5 into 3 is 19.5. That is 19.5 observation. So here 11 to 14th here. So 15th to 20th here, which means 19.5 is also inside this, which is 35. Now sometimes in a question you may be asked to calculate interquartile range. Interquartile range. The formula for interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. So that is 35 minus 25. The final answers, that is 10. And if in case you are asked semi-interquartile range, then it would be half of interquartile range. Obviously it would be 5. I am not writing it over here. So with the help of this, you are expected to do the chapter Measures of Central Tendency. The exercises from ML Agarwal, where you will find such type of questions would be 26.1, 26.2 and 26.3. Once more I would like to repeat my advice to you all that it is lockdown time, and as students of class 10 you should understand it is really important for you to use your time and not waste it, because ICSE will be scheduled normally next year. You won't get any extra time. So if you are not utilizing the free time that you are getting right now, you will definitely be in a loss,